everyone. Welcome to Instant Response Team. My name is Patrice Howard.
I'm Franchesca Ramsey.
And I'm Michelle Collins.
We are here on Lives with Meredith Vieira to discuss and debate the real topics that have real women talking in real time.
And we want you to be part of the conversation, so you can tweet us with the hashtag IRT, or just chime in the comments below here on YouTube to give us your instant response.
Now, without further ado, let's introduce our special guest this week. S.E. Cupp is a political commentator, writer, and co-host on CNN's political debate show, Crossfire. Welcome, S.E.
Thanks for having me.
Sure. Well, we're here. It's a shutdown nation. The federal government is closed for business, and it seems that there's no breakthrough in sight as we enter day 3 of the government shutdown. So President Obama says the disruption was preventable and is now throwing a wrench into the gears of the country's recovering economy. You disagree?
Well, I'm sure this was preventable, but to get to a preventable place, you have to have parties who are willing to negotiate. And the Republicans dug their heels in. President Obama and Democrats dug their heels in. And so here we are. And now both sides are saying, we negotiated, we came to the table, and it's not quite the truth. And so now both sides are saying, well, we're not going to budge until you do. So it's really, it looks understandably, it looks childish to the rest of the country. And I think internationally we look like something of a laughingstock. And there's blame to go around. But, you know, this is also just sort of Washington machinations. This is not the first government shutdown. It will not be the last government shutdown. And if anything, I think it proves just how inconsequential some of our government actually is.
I actually take offense to that, S.E., because I don't think the panda cam is inconsequential, okay? And they shut that down.
Yeah, I know.
I've painted myself like a panda today to sort of hopefully fill a void for people, but I'm heartbroken.
Well, and Michelle, actually, I don't know if you saw the news. There is a mountain lion roaming the streets in Washington, D.C. I'm not joking. That's not made up. That is a consequence of the shutdown, is it not?
I hope Michelle Bachmann is aware of what's happening,
well,
and maybe the lion might find her.
But all jokes aside, there are some critical services that have been cut, including you know, women, infants, and children's programming, you know, the WIC program, you know, national parks have been closed. There's no money for housing authorities. So there definitely are people that are suffering the consequences of this government shutdown, not just the panda cam. So,
well, no, I know.
I mean, you're absolutely right, and that's what's frustrating for people. The fact that this was preventable is frustrating for those very people that are affected by it. And it's frustrating for Republicans because over the past 2 days, Republicans have offered to reopen those very pieces of the government that you just named, NIH, Veteran Services, national parks, and President Obama has said he will veto those efforts. Democrats have said that that idea is pathetic. So we'd like to open parts of the government that absolutely are crucial and critical, and those essential services, but Democrats are unwilling to go with us on that one. They want all or nothing.
Well, S.C., why do you think President Obama doesn't think that that's enough? That those, you know, those efforts by the Republicans are enough? Why do you feel that he might be pushing back on that?
Well, I think both sides are in the same tough spot. They don't want to look weak to their bases, right? So Republicans are, of course, moderates are being dragged to the right by sort of the Tea Party wing of the party. And I don't say that judgmentally to the Tea Party. That's just the fact. They're sort of being dragged to the right. And so Republicans, like John Boehner and other Republicans in leadership, are having to look very strong and very tough, like they're not caving in. And President Obama also, I think, is being dragged leftward by forces in his party who think that he has caved to Republicans in the past and who think that he has compromised in the past. And so he's trying to look very tough and obstinate as well. And so when you have two groups who are saying we want all or nothing, well, that's when you reach this impasse, and there's not a whole lot we can get done. You know, the Republican concessions of saying let's open those parts of the government, Republicans think that sounds like a no-brainer. We want these crucial, critical services to reopen. Democrats hear that and they say, well, no, you're going to get that, and then we'll lose all our leverage, and you'll make us look bad in the process, and then we'll be right back where we started. So it's, like I said, there's blame to go around and not a lot of easy answers on this.
Right. So what is the solution? Franchesca, thoughts on, how we can get the Republicans and the Democrats to come together?
I guess, I'm admittedly not as knowledgeable on the subject as I'd like to be, and I've done as much research as possible, and there's still some things I'm not really clear on. I understand what the Affordable Care Act's goal is, and that is, providing affordable insurance to, Americans. And I guess where I still kind of struggle to understand is I don't really see what Republicans are upset about and why they oppose it, and why that has now led us to this government shutdown. So, for me, I'm not sure that I can offer a suggestion because I'm still not really sure why there's this debate to begin with. From what I understand,
Right. I was going to say the healthcare law. The discussion is that it did pass a milestone when it began, signing up uninsured Americans for the subsidized coverage. Does that mean that there's an uphill battle that the Republicans are facing in this fight to begin with, Essie?
I didn't hear that last part. Say it again.
So the healthcare law, it passed a milestone on Tuesday, and basically people started signing up for this healthcare. Do you think that then the Republicans feel that there's an uphill battle to be won with this?
No, I think Republicans were wary of this moment when Obamacare was going to be repealed, sort of implemented in full, because it's very hard to peel that back. Government has a sort of kudzu effect where it kind of encroaches in every aspect of your life, and then it's very hard to trim things back. But I think Republicans are also very aware of just how odious this law is going to be. And every day that we see more of it, I think Republicans are feeling a little sort of vindicated and reaffirmed in their promises and assertions that this law was going to be difficult, unworkable, complicated, expensive, unaffordable. And to Francesca's point, I think she's expressing a viewpoint that a lot of Americans have. I don't think Republicans did a very good job explaining why the Affordable Care Act is going to be such a terrible thing. All we said was, it's terrible, Obama is terrible, we don't have another idea.
By the way, it's so not a terrible thing. It's like it's the best thing to happen to me, at least. Like,
well, and I'm uninsured too, so yeah.
Girl, air high five in the Google Hangout. I don't like to boast. I do have Kaiser Permanente, but it's the worst, and it's super expensive. And I actually have been shopping around for new plans. I went to the ER uninsured. Not a big deal. That was my ride, by the way, the ambulance you heard earlier. But I went to the ER uninsured a few months ago, and it cost thousands of dollars for such a nothing thing. And I'm lucky that I was able to, like, at the time afford it, but I can't imagine. I just think it's a great thing. I don't question it.
Signing everyone up to health insurance is a great thing. The problem with the Affordable Care Act is that it relies on, at this point, about 2.7 million young people to sign up, young, healthy people who historically do not want health insurance. They don't buy health insurance.
Well,
they don't think they need health insurance.
Because they probably couldn't afford
all of the older, unhealthy people who will want health insurance. So getting all of those young people who historically have not wanted to buy this product to buy it not only for the first time, but at higher premiums than before Obamacare is going to be a huge, heavy lift for the president. And
I disagree. The only reason I never bought insurance
on this marketing campaign.
The only reason I never bought insurance when I was young is because I couldn't afford it. I mean, that's literally it. And it's like now, wow, people can actually. And 2.7 million, by the way, is like nothing. What are we talking about?
Nobody,
a drop in the bucket. That doesn't seem like a lot.
It's less affordable now for a 27-year-old man in Little Rock, Arkansas. Before the exchanges, his low-cost premium was $31 a month. And now it's 513% higher a month. Why is that 27-year-old healthy young man?
I'm going to also throw out statistics.
He didn't buy it before. Why is he going to buy it now?
Let me confuse people with percentages for a second. I heard it's 700%. No, I'm kidding. It's like I have to get my calculator out to understand what you're saying.
The easy way of saying it is that it's a lot more expensive now for a lot of young people. Their premiums are going to go up.
Right, but you're both throwing out.
It's just math.
Throwing out statistics. Do you think that this is something that young Americans that you're talking about actually understand?
No.
I think we saw Jimmy Kimmel may have proved that point a little bit. Francesca, talk about that.
Yeah, so Jimmy Kimmel, he's really killing it when it comes to going out on the street and showing how dumb we are when it comes to what's going on in our world. He basically asked people what they supported, Obamacare or the Affordable Health Care Act, and the majority of the people said that they opposed Obamacare and they thought that the Affordable Health Care Act was better and it was something that they would really support. And then at the end, of course, he explained to them, well, they're the exact same thing. And a lot of people felt and looked very stupid.
Well, to be fair, he was interviewing people on Hollywood Boulevard, which is like the avenue of the most high school dropouts in Spider-Man costumes. Like, I don't think anyone there,
and of course it's
like a lot of Mountain Dew fans on Hollywood Boulevard.
I'm sure there were people that got the answer right, and it was edited in such a way that it showed the people that got it wrong. Like, I'll be the first one to acknowledge that. But I also, I know that CNN also did a poll and had very similar results showing that people really opposed Obamacare only in name and really liked the idea of having affordable health insurance. So, I mean, unfortunately, I tried to go to the website today to just find out more about what was available for me as an uninsured person, and the website is crashing because so many people are trying to find out what's going on.
Essie, your reaction to this not knowing phenomenon? I know you've commented on that before.
It's true, and there's a new Gallup poll out just recently that showed 71% of people don't know that they will be required to have health insurance. I mean, that is sort of the fundamental crux of the Affordable Care Act, that individual mandate. So there's a lot of confusion out there. Proof in that is that the president has been trying to sell and explain a law that's been the law for 3.5 years now, and still trying to sell this piece of legislation. He's brought in Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton and everyone else he can to try and explain it. It's incredibly complicated. That alone shouldn't disqualify it, the fact that it's complicated.
I don't think it's complicated.
I agree.
Healthcare is a very complicated thing, but I mean, I think
it's like life or death.
Well, maybe that's the thing. Maybe the communication, that's the thing that needs to be addressed, and that way people will be able to understand it.
But ultimately, you're asking millions of people. 2.7, by the way, is only in the first few years. You're asking millions of people to sign up who are healthy, to support the people who want to go on because they are not healthy, because they are older.
But
it's a really heavy lift.
People, I'll say this much, there are healthy people who still need health care. For example, I am a young, healthy woman, but I still need birth control. Without health care, my birth control of choice is $90 a month.
Yes.
I can't
Girl, are you on BS? Girl, are you on BS? That's how much mine costs.
I'm not, but
we are.
No one's arguing that young people should have health insurance. I am completely with you, and I've had health insurance since I left my parents' house. It was an important thing to have. Unfortunately, a lot of young people in this country don't put a premium on health insurance. No pun intended. They don't spend their money that way when they don't need it.
Or they can't afford it because they don't have it, or they're in a situation where they do have a job but they have a part-time job and the job doesn't include benefits. I mean, most people that
we can't afford to debate this issue forever. It's going to be something that will resolve.
Please.
I'm sorry.
Oh,
so
right.
Essie, it was wonderful to have you join us and to have this kind of conversation, because it sounds like this kind of communication is something that's important for these issues. So we really appreciate you being with us today, and of course you can catch Essie on CNN's Crossfire. Essie, we'll see you next time.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys.
Thank you.
Bye, Essie.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
So, as you know, we are facing a political crisis in Washington. It's too bad Olivia Pope can't sweep in to fix the scandal. Franchesca, I know you're excited about fall TV. Tell us what show you are looking for.
Scandal is tonight, and I am so ready. Like, I'm going to have my big glass of wine, Olivia Pope style, and I am going to be ready. My girlfriend says I'm going to be ready to do wall slides, because I just know that every moment of the show is going to have me just clutching my pearls and getting my life. It's such a great show.
Really excited?
I have to ask a question. I actually don't watch Scandal because I power through Breaking Bad and Game of Thrones and all these other shows to be popular on Twitter, basically. But does she do a lot of wall slides and Scandal? That might get me to watch.
I do them as I'm watching.
Because I love a wall slide.
Oh my God, what is going on?
Do you think
dream
this character, though, Franchesca of Olivia Pope, is somebody who might just exist in Washington, who might just be trying to fix a problem right now?
I mean, Olivia Pope's character is based on a real DC fixer, so I have the utmost certainty that Olivia Pope can handle this. She might bend some rules. She's been known to cut corners and do things that are illegal to get stuff done, but she's very persuasive and she's very smart. So I'm very excited. I was also a huge Breaking Bad fan and was very. I mean, I was satisfied with the ending, but I was sad to see it go. And you know, the dramas on TV right now are really killing it. And
they're better than any comedy on right now.
Michelle, what are you excited about?
Well, I have to say that this conversation has got me thinking, like, maybe there should be a Scandal Homeland, like, Flintstones meets the Jetsons thing, where Carrie from Homeland meets Olivia Pope. Wouldn't that be good? Like a special one night. They don't do that. This is why I would be into it. I know.
There'd be a lot of crying, but...
Oh my God.
It would just be like a Native American looking at garbage for like 2 hours. It would just
be a cry-off.
Well, I don't know about you. I'm kind of excited about the comedies making a comeback. I'm a huge Friends fan for life.
Of course.
And I just like when the networks sort of try to make a comedy comeback. Michael J. Fox has a new show. Have you heard of this? What do you think about this kind of return of the comedies?
I don't know.
Well, I gotta tell you, let me just say this. I watched Modern Family yesterday for the first time in years, and I actually thought it was hilarious, which people always rave about it, but I've been out of the loop. I watched also Super Fun Night, which is the new Rebel Wilson show. Did you guys see it?
I didn't, but I didn't hear good things about it.
I want to support Rebel. Obviously, I love her. It was not.
I heard it wasn't good.
It wasn't great. But what were we gonna say?
I think that a lot of the new comedies, again, I haven't watched many of these things, but I've read a lot about, reviews of these shows, and it just doesn't sound like many of them are getting off to a very strong start. One of the things that I read about the Michael J. Fox show was that they kind of relied on a lot of jokes about his illness, and I guess maybe that was in an effort to...
Like part of it, yeah.
Yeah, I guess
make it, like, normal and whatever.
Just start a conversation maybe on something.
I guess so, but at the same time, and again, I haven't seen the show, so I can't say with utmost certainty, but from the reviews that I read and people that I, respect as TV reviewers, it sounded as if it was kind of a crutch. Like, haha, Parkinson's is going to be the joke in every scene, and the rest of the show wasn't that funny.
I heard the original title was Ha Ha Parkinson's, so maybe that's like a good thing that they changed that.
Yeah.
I also want to say, let me just say one other thing. One thing about Super Fun Night in the same vein is that it was all about fat jokes.
Fat jokes.
Everything, but like really lame. Listen, I live for a fat joke. Like it's half of my no pun intended, bread and butter. But I don't eat that anymore. I live in LA. Point is, it was very easy fat jokes.
I saw a gag reel.
That.
I saw a super cut of all the fat jokes from Super Fun Night. And
You're kidding. That's hilarious.
No, and one of them was something like, oh, she's running down the hall, and they say, why are you running? And she's, oh, they've got donuts in the break room or something.
Yes.
Just not funny.
Not funny. You know what's one good show I just want to say that I saw the first episode of on HBO? It's Hello Ladies, the Stephen Merchant show.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
Well, he's like a human stick bug. Like he's 6'6" and weighs like 97 pounds. But it is very, very funny. If you liked extras and all those kind of shows, it's great.
Okay, I'll definitely look into it.
Yeah.
If you're looking for something great to watch tomorrow night, I know, Franchesca, you're excited about this.
Oh, yeah. Meredith Vieira is actually going to be sitting down with Elizabeth Smart tomorrow, Friday night at 10 p.m. to discuss her memoir, My Story, which really is just like her personal account of her kidnapping and life post the kidnapping. And I think it's going to be really intimate.
From her, Smart was abducted from her Salt Lake City bedroom in 2002 by religious fanatics, Brian David Mitchell and his wife Wanda, and this is a story I think that will reveal a lot of the long-term effects of this kind of situation happening to someone.
Absolutely. Well, and I think it's also just a really inspirational story. You know, there's too often when a child is kidnapped, it just ends in a really bad way.
Yeah.
And so it is really uplifting to actually hear a positive end to something like this. And you know, hopefully it can give some sort of encouragement to other families, God forbid, who are in this similar situations where they're dealing with abducted children as well.
And why do you think now, 11 years later, what do you think we'll learn from sort of hearing Elizabeth, her story now?
Well, I know when it first happened, you know, she was very limited in how much the family said. So I think that when you go through something that traumatic, it definitely takes time to recover and move forward. And you know, it feels like it happened not that long ago. You know, to hear 11 years is a little like jarring to me because it's crazy to think that it's been that long. But you know, she needed to take as much time as she felt necessary, and I think that it's still an important story and still one that has such a positive ending that we still are interested and we want to hear more about it. So,
so tune in tomorrow.
Incredible. Yeah.
Tune in tomorrow to watch Meredith Vieira's special. So there's a little plug. But let's turn from TV to the web. Now, I know that you've heard of this Marina Shifrin, who she quit her job via viral video. Have you heard of this?
Hilarious.
Yes, she's amazing.
Franchesca, tell us a little bit about the video.
So Marina Shifrin was working for, I believe, an animation company. They do videos that recap the news, and she decided that she was fed up working there and having lots of late nights. And she filmed a video in her empty office at 4:30 in the morning while she was still at work, dancing to Kanye West's Gone, which was an excellent song choice, I might say. And it quickly went viral, 10 million views. And the response has been really interesting because, on the one hand, it's kind of unprofessional to quit your job via a YouTube video, but it's worked out for her because she's getting tons of press. And just this week, Queen Latifah offered her a job during an interview on her daytime talk show.
You're joking.
No, she offered her a job on the spot, and she accepted.
God bless Queen. God bless her.
Public resignation. I mean, is that good or bad? Would you ever quit your job via video?
I would absolutely not. I mean, again, it's so open to interpretation because on the one hand, it's gotten her a ton of visibility, but she also kind of threw her employer under the bus, and they've been getting calls from people saying, how dare you make her work late hours, blah, 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 blah. And they came out with a rebuttal video, but they've also done some interviews and said everyone has to work a late night shift once a month. It's something that everybody has to do, and, you know, they had to do damage control, and it's kind of a horrible position for them to be in.
Michelle, I get a feeling that you might have a different perspective. You might
you have very good intuitions, Patrice. I disagree. I mean, first of all, the video was adorable. I think it was good-natured. It wasn't, like, as bitter as certainly I've worked, honestly, the most horrendous jobs at law firms and awful things where my goodbye video would have been just clips of, like, Schindler's List strung together with, like, I don't even know what it would have been. It would have been horrendous because of the amount of anger. So I felt like she actually, like, made it fun. And listen, Queen Latifah stepped in, as she often does, and, like, took care of the situation.
Yeah.
I guarantee you, given the way the internet works, in a week's time, nobody will even remember this. They want to hire someone else. They're in Taiwan, first of all, so I'm sure a lot of the Taiwanese locals don't even know about this story. It's like a very, you know what I mean? I'm sure the company will be totally fine and mint money, and she'll be working with one of the greatest rap artists of our time. So I think it really worked out for her.
Right. Well, you never know. That could have been an isolated incident, so watch your back.
Yeah.
Right. Meanwhile, I, like, quit this G-Chat or whatever, this Google Hangout, and just, like, storm off.
Suddenly Kanye West starts coming on.
I'm just doing the Running Man across the screen. Anyways.
All right, so let's move from I quit to I do. The Knot is reporting that more and more couples are splitting the cost of a diamond ring. Have either of you heard of this trend to go Dutch when it comes to your engagement ring?
I think it's great. I mean, I'm getting married next month, and while I didn't Thank you. Well, I didn't contribute to my engagement ring. We split the cost of our wedding bands. You know, like we're splitting the price of everything else. I think it kind of takes a little bit of the surprise out of it. But I know people that have gone in and picked the rings together and put down the deposit and paid it off together. I think that every couple has to do what's best for them.
What do you think, Michelle?
I think that if your man can't afford an engagement ring, you should just get out. It's like a great sign. It's just a great. I'm not saying that they have to pay for everything. That's not what I mean. It's just like there are certain traditions that I think are important, and I do think that it is tradition for a man to buy an engagement ring, and it sort of loses. First of all, it loses the surprise in a way. The wedding bands is a different story, but it kind of ruins it. It actually makes it about the money instead of about, like, I want to spend the rest of my life with you. But one quick funny thing is a friend of mine actually recently broke up with her fiance, and this is genius. She gave him the ring back, but then made him pay her money for the ring.
What?
That he gave her.
Why?
Can you imagine?
I don't know. That's taking
Is
it
that
a little
not
bit.
genius?
No.
I agree. I would never have the moxie to ask for something like that. But I was like, you know, if he did it, I mean,
I don't
he's
know.
a great guy, but
I'm not in a financial position to follow tradition because traditionally the bride's family is supposed to pay for the wedding. So
Right.
I mean, it's like if the guy can spare the expense, fine. But if he can't, and you know, again, I'm such a sap when it comes to this stuff, but I'm just of the mindset that, like, you figure out how to make it work. Not everybody has the money, and so it can still be a surprise. Maybe you have a wedding fund where you both put money towards it, but you don't know when it's coming, but you know that you've contributed.
What about the proposal itself? Do you have a very traditional proposal, or do you sort of want, you know, the hockey rink full of people with, you know, the jumbotron saying,
I want my future loved one to skate backwards towards me while we're surrounded by. No, I'm kidding. I like romantic proposals. I think it's, like, you know, sweet. But some of the internet ones I think are, like, annoying. But I'm also burnt out.
Yeah, it's kind of weird to me how people have gone so far out of their way to orchestrate, like, these gigantic flash mob proposals.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's really sweet, but then sometimes I'm also just like, you just really want this to go viral, and you know,
well, these days anything can go viral. So.
Well, and then you get a job with Queen Latifah, or you get a proposal from Queen Latifah, and then your relationship's over.
That's true.
That'll never happen, girl. That won't never happen. But
well, we hope this episode of IRT will go viral. We hope that you enjoyed it, and we hope that you'll join us next time. I'm Patrice Howard.
I'm Franchesca Ramsey.
And I'm Michelle Collins.
We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.